You are watching Midnight Movie Talk live from Los Angeles. I am Eric Weber. On this Wednesday night, I decided to push a night because I knew we'd have a ton to talk about tonight. And we lead with the number one story for this evening is, can Avatar 2 make it to $2 billion worldwide? Right now, that's the big question. A lot of you think it's going to do it no matter what, right? It's going to happen. It's like inevitable. I slow that train down just a little bit. Let's look at the latest numbers we have in here on Avatar: The Way of Water. So as of yesterday, because we're still waiting for today's numbers, obviously, so through Tuesday, we are now at 555 million worldwide. Which is, obviously, that sounds fantastic, right? Oh, that's a great number. It is. It's not a terrible number. No one's suggesting that. That'd be absolutely asinine to do that. But here's the issue. Go down here and look domestically, and we have a situation where we're at $168.6 million, okay? It went up from Monday to Tuesday, which is a good sign. But remember, Tuesday is always going to be a little bit odd because you have those discount days at AMC and Regal in particular. So you have $5 tickets. I think Regal might be $6, but you get more people going, but you get less on the ticket. Now, with 3D upcharge, I think it's obviously going to be more than the $5-6. But either way, it does go up from Monday to Tuesday. But look here, at $168 million, you're saying, hey, that's great. That's very good through Tuesday. You know, it's only been in theaters since last Thursday night. But here is what we really need to focus on, okay? I really love DR Movie Review. So here he is, based out of Arkansas. If you're watching tonight, by the way, chime in. Comparing Avatar 2 to Rogue One, right? 190 million cum. That was in 2017, by the way. And so it's still under that. Avatar 2 is at 168, call it 169. And Avatar, the original, it's up on that. But guys, remember, Avatar was out in 2009. So many people out there are like, Avatar 2 is doing better than Avatar 1. Yeah, because things cost a hell of a lot more now, certainly with what we've seen in inflation over the past year. But everything costs more, including movie tickets. So, of course, it's going to do better in 2022 than 13 years ago in 2009, okay? Because we can't even do a ticket-for-ticket comparison because everything's more expensive over that 13 years. But I guarantee you that when it's all said and done, Avatar 2 is not going to sell as many tickets as Avatar did. It might end up with a similar number, and I say might. We're going to talk about that in a moment. But it's not going to sell more tickets because, remember, tickets are more expensive now. Okay, so here's the big problem is look at what I put there in the tweet. No Way Home. Okay, No Way Home made, what is that, 15 million more on its first Tuesday, roughly. 15-ish, $14 million more, okay? But more importantly, No Way Home, after its first Tuesday, was at $329 million versus 168. I mean, that is minus a ton of cash. 160 million under what No Way Home is. And why am I keep talking about No Way Home? Well, let's look at No Way Home's box office at $1.9 billion. It couldn't get to $2 billion. So why do you guys think that Avatar 2 is going to hit $2 billion? The other thing that you guys keep forgetting, and not you, the other people, the people that are freaking out about this film that think it's, Maverick. It's not Maverick. It's not going to be Maverick because the word of mouth is not as strong as Maverick. Now, the difference between Maverick and Avatar 2, simple. Maverick was a film that anyone that was on the fence about was off the fence and in. Avatar 2 is a film that right now anyone on the fence is more than likely out. Do you know the difference between those two? It is worlds, universes of difference between those two. When you talk to the average person about Avatar: The Way of Water, not the film Twitter person, not the cinephile, not the person that goes to the movies every week like me and you, just random Joe Sixpack in Dayton, Ohio. not interested in Avatar: The Way of Water. Not like he was in Maverick. Maverick was one of those very rare occurrences that we get in cinemas where you have a film that played to everyone. The entire movie-going audience was in on Maverick. Avatar 2 is not quite that, okay? It's bigger than Tar. It's bigger than The Fabelmans, but it's not Maverick, okay? It's just not. So the question is, can it hit 2 billion? I got to tell you, I don't think it's going to do it. I don't, because look, No Way Home wasn't able to do it. Now, granted, it didn't have China, and Avatar has China, but I still don't see it happening. I think it's going to be under. I think we're going to look at maybe 1.7, not even 2. I don't think we get to 2. Comments, let's go. Let's do it. And then we're going to talk about Oscar Shortlist. We have a ton of stuff to discuss because I'm going to unload on the Oscar Shortlist. I mean, they missed so much today. And some of the misses were really, egregious. Like the kind of thing that you can't even believe. These are the people that are in charge of picking the best of, and they miss literally not just the best of, like top 15, the best in the top 5. It's unforgivable. Here it is. Let's get to it. Kevin Davis, Avatar: Way of Water. You say it's going to get 600 domestic, international 1.5, which put it at 2.1. That's too high. 600 million is too high. Remember, Maverick got to 720 million domestic, but remember the difference between the two. Maverick, everybody in. Avatar: Way of Water, we still don't know, but I'm telling you, it doesn't feel like they're all in. If you go read, and we showed you this on Sunday night, go look at comments like in a regular news article, like on Daily Mail, which I love. Daily Mail is fantastic for just basic news and for gossip and celebrity crap. Go read an article about Avatar 2. I read them to you the other night. It's all like, I'm not interested in this woke crap. I have no interest in watching a 3-hour and 15-minute movie. All of those things are what the average person is saying. Someone who is not a hardcore fan like we are, okay? Not to mention the film's not great. I mean, this is a tweet. I want to bring this up. This is a tweet that I thought was really good today. Just came in and I retweeted it instantly. I'm like, this is really pithy. This is really to the point. This is Talia Ford. I'm not sure if Talia is a watcher here on MMT. I hope so, because this is very insightful. Listen to this. Avatar 2 is the Phantom Menace of James Cameron films. The diehard fanboys have forced themselves to believe it's a brilliant masterpiece, but most everybody else views it as a bloated, soulless video game. Cameron is damn lucky there's no real competition over Christmas. And that's perfectly, everything about that is accurate. Talia, if you're here, tell me, because that is mint tweeting right here. Every part of this tweet is correct. And you know I believe this. Incredibly bloated. Soulless. Yes, I was bored out of I got my phone out and walked away from the movie for a while. Avatar 2 is not great. Anyone who says it's a masterpiece, credibility, goodbye, it's gone. Good luck getting it back. And the last part is everything. Disney should be thanking the high heavens that there is not something major in theaters to drive business away from Avatar, because it's asking to have business taken away from it because no one's that excited about Avatar 2. They're just not. Not just me. A lot of people are not excited about this movie. The Cameron fanboys, discount. Get rid of them. Come on. Anyone that's that far out there, you have to kind of just say, okay, you're the fanboys. We're going to let you do your thing, but that's not the accurate representation of what people really think about the film. Granted, I'm on the other side saying this film is bloated and boring, just like Talia says here. But the average person is more with me and with Talia than they are with the fanboys. The fanboys always making things bigger than they actually are. Oh, it's a masterpiece. This movie is so great. It's the best thing he's ever done. James Cameron has screwed Disney. I mean, he really has. He screwed them here with this film by making it 3 hours and 12 minutes long. It should be 2:15 max. So he's an hour over the runtime that it should be coming in at, right? It's not just about runtime. It's about the feel. The real feel time of this is like 7 hours. So he missed that. And now you're stuck with Avatar 3 and 4 coming, And do you think that anticipation is going to be as high for Avatar 3 or 4 as it was for 2? When you have 13 years in between movies, then of course you're going to have a bigger level of excitement for that next film. We saw that with Maverick, right? Not since 86, 30 years plus. And like, oh, here's Maverick. Oh my God, we're finally going back. But when you have Avatar, what's the release date for Avatar 3? Is it next year, for God's sake? It's not going to be as big. So Disney is in trouble here. They've had a terrible year. Look at their stock, right? Their stock is trading at one of the lowest numbers we've seen in years because Wall Street sees Avatar 2 just like we did back on Friday night when we went live here and I said it was underperforming. And all of you are like, it's only one day. Remember all the quote tweets? Hold on, let me pull that up again. The quote tweets were unbelievable. This person, it's been one night. Erick Weber doesn't know anything. Guess who was right again? That's right, me. Oh my God, shocking, unbelievable. Weber's right again every damn time. That's right. Don't come in to my world with a bunch of nonsense when you're wrong. It makes you look even dumber than you already are. By the way, check this out. You ready for this? This is good. Remember when we left this tweet on Friday night? We were at 500,000 impressions. Can you see the number there? Let me zoom in so you can see the number of impressions on my "this is an underwhelming number on a Thursday." Do you see that? And they say I don't have any reach. Whoever that person is. Another stupid person. 5 million. 5 million impressions. And the best part about it is that this tweet is turning out to be 100% correct. And I called it on Friday morning, not in the middle of the weekend, not late Friday morning. I just said it wasn't going to hit 200 million. And 17 million is extremely underwhelming. 5 million impressions. And they all know I'm right. I love that. God, that felt good. That felt really good. All right, let's get to some more comments here. 2 billion in 2010 money is different than 2 billion in today's money. Everything costs almost double. Exactly. So if we get to a higher number, then it means fewer people saw it because everything costs so much more. Every single thing that you buy now. We talked about this months ago. Everything that I purchase at the grocery store, no matter which one you go to, I don't care if it's Vons, Ralph's, Kroger, Walmart, Target, everything you buy is 20% or more higher. Not 5%, not 10, 20 or higher. In some cases, it's like 30, 40, 50% higher than it used to be. So movies are another thing that are more expensive. And another issue that movie-going has going right now is the fact that people they don't have the money that they used to have because everything costs 20, 30, 40% more than it used to. So you start to cut things. We mentioned this months ago because we're always ahead of the curve. Always. MMT. Always ahead of the curve. Because we're ahead of the curve, we called it that movies are going to suffer because people are going to go, I need to have food versus go to Avatar 2. So that's the other challenge that Avatar 2 has. It is going to be an issue when people are, hunting for money. Geeky Lawrence, I see Avatar ending up about 1.5, 1.7. That's where I have it at, about 1.6. After the holidays, early January, its box office drop off considerably, especially with streaming and social media offering new alternative options and content. I think it's 1.6, and you're going to watch it fall precipitously come in the new year. I mean, once we get into kids back to school and all that, we've got this week's off, the next week, New Year, and then that following Monday, boom, off it goes. Because here's the other thing it doesn't have going for it. It does not have rewatchability. And Maverick did. A lot of films do. They want to go see No Way Home again, to see the moment when here come the 3 Spider-Men. Whatever it is, you need to have a film that has rewatchability factor to get that number to go up even higher. And Avatar doesn't have it. I mean, I don't even know if it has watchability for the first time at 3 hours and 12 minutes. I know I didn't enjoy it. I definitely do not want to see this film again. Like, no thank you to seeing Avatar 2 again. I'm more concerned for Puss in Boots 2 performance than Avatar 2. Okay. Interesting take here, Lonely Lizard. By the way, welcome back to the channel. As I hope the film can be a hit on a $90 million budget, so DreamWorks Animation makes Shrek 5. Puss in Boots is going to do well, and let me tell you why. Because it is all alone as the pure family option over the holidays. There's nothing else. So this Christmas quarter, in effect right now and next week, all the way through, every day is going to be massive for the box office. Puss in Boots will do well. Babylon's in trouble. We're going to talk about Babylon in a minute. I mean, it's not only is it terrible, but it's in trouble because it's terrible and it's too long. Kevin got an Avatar ad on the YouTube line. That's perfect. That is perfect as you roll into this. Here's the Avatar Way of Water ad as you get ready to watch MMT. It's a pity because even though Avatar 2 was not that engaging, it's still a better film than No Way Home. I disagree completely, Kerwin, but listen, your opinion's your opinion, but I completely disagree. No Way Home has emotional moments. The 3 Spider-Men alone is more emotional than any single moment in Avatar 2. That was the problem I had with the film, in addition to it being punishingly, torturously overlong, is that the emotion is missing from the film. So that is going to be an issue. David, good evening to you. Thank you for joining us here on MMT. Josh is back. Hey, Josh, good evening, everyone. If you haven't cut Violent Night yet, Violent Night is doing really well, considering it's all by itself as, this odd Christmas entry. The only problem is they're going to put it on digital. Is it not on it now? So then the theaters are going to pay the price because it's available at home. People are going to take that option because now we've gotten rid of the theatrical windows. They used to be 90 days, and now we're looking at 14, 17. I mean, come on. People are going to take the option to watch at home every single time. Okay, let's go to topic number 2 tonight, and then we'll go back to Avatar. This is my wheelhouse. I can't wait to talk about it. So the Oscars had their shortlist today. So what happens is, for certain categories, for 10 categories, the Oscars go ahead and they shortlist from all the films that are eligible. They chop them down to 10 in some 15 cases, like song. So when you look at some of these things that came in, you talk about missing. When you are in charge of picking the semifinalists for the 5 Oscar slots for any category, you better not miss, because you have 5 extra chances to get it right, at least to get the 10 best in there. Now, when we get to 5, of course we can nitpick those. But when you have 10 slots, or in Song's case, 15, you better get it right. International feature, also 15. Let's start with score. Let's pull it up right now. So when you look at score, and I know some of you are like, score is just... No. Score is huge. Score is, I would argue, one of, if it's not the, okay, cinematography, editing, those things, but score is way up there, okay, in the overall importance to an individual film. Score is massive. So when we look at this list, there are 2 films that are missing from the top 2 most talented composers working today in Hollywood, and neither of the films that pair worked on is here. We're talking about Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. Empire of Light and Bones and All. And you might think that Empire of Light, the screenplay doesn't really work like Sam Mendes wanted it to work. Bones and All, the whole cannibal thing really wasn't my deal. I didn't like that. It grossed me out. I didn't like the film. But we are picking the best score. We are picking scores that matter to the films they are in. And I'll tell you right now, from watching every one of these films and really keying in on score, because I am a score and cinematography freak, you can't leave Empire of Light for certain. And Bones and All, but Empire of Light bigger than the Bones and All. You can't leave that out when you have films like The Woman King, Devotion, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelman score. I know it's John Williams. It's not good. This is an abomination of a miss. I mean, The Woman King alone, let's just focus on that. I've talked about this before. Terrence Blanchard might be the single most overrated composer working in Hollywood today. I have never heard a really, truly interesting score from Terrence Blanchard. But here it is, over Empire of Light. You've got to be kidding me. This is your job for this. They have a group, right? They look and they say, hey, we're going to narrow this down to 15. You can't miss like that. You cannot miss. You can't. Now, Don't Worry, Darling was actually a pretty cool score. I kind of like that pick. But Devotion? No. That's a no. Woman King? Everything else here, I'm okay with, but you still can't miss. It's embarrassing, and it is absolutely the kind of thing that, someone should resign over that. That's how serious I am about that. Let's go to international feature. That's another biggie. Okay. And I think this went as expected. In fact, on Awards Ace, I had 13 of the 15 making it. Literally, my top 13 made it in. Okay, the only ones I missed on was Cairo Conspiracy and Last Film Show from India. You don't think India was like, hey, Oscars, could you please, we will do whatever it takes. How much do you want? Here you go. Here's the suitcase of cash. Just make sure Last Film Show gets in, because we did kind of make the biggest mistake ever in the history of international feature submissions when we left our out and we put Last Film Show in. So India's there, which I think they're like, hey, we're going to pay you some cash. Something happened, because there's no way that there's too many. There were other films that were stronger and certainly more seen than Last Film Show. But I still need to watch Quiet Girl. You guys all say it's great. I cannot wait to see that, because I have a feeling I'm going to really like it. But everything else here goes as expected. Okay. I think for me right now, the top three contenders here, All Quiet on the Western Front, huge day for All Quiet on the Western Front. Very visible film. A lot of people have seen that film through Netflix. In fact, that's got to be Netflix's #1 awards film, right? A foreign film, All Quiet on the Western Front. That and Pinocchio. So All Quiet on the Western Front showed up everywhere today. Sound, score, everywhere. Decision to Leave is my #1 of the year in international feature. In fact, it's one of the best films of the year, period. Holy Spider, hell of a film. Close, Close has a lot of things I like about it, but, and then you have Bardo, which is obviously a cinematography in Inarritu, so you knew that was going to get in. It's Netflix. So really no huge surprise here, other than RRR not even being picked by its country. Okay, that's the biggest shock, but nothing there. Let's roll to, you guys don't really care about makeup and hairstyling. Let's just skip that altogether, other than Emancipation's in there. Okay, there's the one time we saw Emancipation today. Let's go down to song. What did I tell you was winning song? I told you from day one, what is going to win song at the Oscars? When I saw it, I called it, and I'm going to win. You all going to retweet this and say, Weber was right again. Hold My Hand from Top Gun Maverick. I told you it's going to win. There it is. When it wins, it's like, how do you guys not see this? These other people, these Oscar experts, and look, man, heavy quotes on that. The biggest air quotes you can imagine. How do you not see that Hold My Hand is the clear #1 overall pick right now, and has been since the movie came out? It's the biggest movie of the year. It's a song that people know. It's a song that's used in the film. It's one of the things I have a big issue with. Whenever you have a film that's tacked on the song's at the end, right? Almost every one of these, the song is at the end. RRR, obviously not, but a lot of these, Chow Papa wasn't. Okay, but a lot of these, like Avatar, Nothing Is Lost, The Weeknd, tacked on at the end, right? Time. I can't believe Amsterdam. Who did Time again? The Amsterdam song got on there. Look, Amsterdam, almost an Oscar nominee. It's close. It could happen. And when you look at this, it's still Hold My Hand. Okay, so no major surprises, no major snubs here. There really weren't. In the shorts, the biggest thing was Taylor Swift's short didn't get in. But again, for Taylor Swift fans, it's a big deal. For everyone else, Sound, biggest thing that's missing here is Nope. Nope, by far, sound design is one of the best of the year. Should be here. Big miss by that branch. The branch puts it together. Complete miss. Visual effects, really nothing too shocking here. RRR did not get in. And it did not get in for sound either. So that leads us to and feel free, hit me with any comment here, because we can go like super deep in the weeds if you want on this. But the next thing I want to bring up is RRR Best Picture, because a lot of you have a lot of fans say, hey, man, is it going to make it? Bad news today for RRR on two fronts. One, it did not get in its sound. It did not get in for visual effects. Now, that is a signal. Had it made it in on both or one, let's say both, that's a signal that, hey, hold on. A lot of Academy members really like RRR. This thing is getting into sound, into visual effects. And this, again, these are shortlists, but still, the shortlist. That is a signal that we could be looking at that at a RRR Best Picture. It does get song, but we kind of figured that was going to happen. So right now, RRR is still on the outside looking in for me. When you look, go to Awards Ace, let's count them down right now. Let's go to Best Picture and pull it up. And I'm telling you, here is our Best Picture contenders. Yes, I have a lot of basketball shoes, as you can see in the ad. Boy, how do they know me so well? They don't track me, do they? All right, here we go. So let's zoom in. Number one right now in Best Picture is The Fabelmans. Not because it's the best film of the year. That's funny. No, because it's Steven Spielberg and his life story, and that's how we're going to evaluate the film, not on whether it's good or it's great or it's even decent. We're going to say it's the best because it's Spielberg. Top Gun Maverick's number two. It's going to do so well on a preferential ballot. So Maverick's way up there. Banshees of Inisherin, another very strong preferential ballot play. Elvis is right there. Man, a lot of old school Oscar voters really like Elvis. I've been to events, a lot of FYC action on this film, and the people are super geeked for it. So Elvis is right there. It's in the top. It's not at the bottom of the list. Everything Everywhere All at Once, look where I have it in the 5 slot. And let me tell you why. For those people that are like, RRR is going to get in. We're going to talk about that in a second. But I want to drill down on one thing. Everything Everywhere All at Once. This is a film that film Twitter loves. And I think the Academy likes. They don't love it like film Twitter. So everyone who's like, oh, guess who's going to win? It's going to be Everything Ever. No, it's not going to be. If it is, I will be shocked. But I'm telling you, I wouldn't put a bet on that. I would put a bet on Maverick. I put a bet on Fabelmans, Banshees, way before I would Everything Everywhere. Tar better get in. Avatar further down, and then Women Talking. Okay, so there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Babylon and She Said would be your final 10. Would be the last one, She Said. Now, I know you're saying She Said doesn't have Golden Globes, doesn't have Critics' Choice. Well, it's about Harvey Weinstein. It's about this town. It will get in. Glass Onion, yeah, man, it's going to be close. It's going to be like Babylon and Glass Onion could be the 10 spot. And RRR is right there at 12, but you've also got Black Panther. I mean, who knows? Woman King. Oh, goodness. That's not even good enough to get there, but I got to put it there. Empire Light, I should got to drop it. It's just not going to happen. But when you look at the top, that these films are in. There's no question about it. All these films are in. I think even Women Talking. Babylon likely. She Said very likely, I believe. And then you have Glass Onion RR. So RR right now is outside looking in. We thought today I would have moved it up a notch or two if it had gotten in for sound and visual effects. It did not. Therefore, I have to say no, it's not going to happen. We need to pivot for a moment, then we'll get to comments, on Babylon. I did an entire stream on Babylon when I came out of the Academy Theater in Beverly Hills over a month ago now. And it was, oh my God, it was such a good stream. Because I destroyed the film. I couldn't stop myself. There was an embargo, and I could not stop myself from saying this film is terrible. This film has 2 good scenes. Everything else is abysmal. So here we are. It's finally out. And let's recall that stream in the form of my tweet review for Babylon, because I think it's always a good, simple 280 character summation of my thoughts on the film. And this is what I for an hour, I just absolutely brutalized Babylon. And it is exactly what you see off the top. It's a tonal disaster and or total, clever, disaster. Babylon's Damien Chazelle's worst film. No contest. Like, there's no debate to have. It is his worst film. A brutally overlong, coked up mess featuring 2 great scenes, trapped inside a flaming dumpster fire of a script. In a year of disappointments, considering Chazelle's pedigree, the most disappointing of them all. 3 out of 10. And I figured this picture a pit getting ready to fall over the railing that you've seen in the trailer so often. That is the perfect snapshot of Babylon and how I feel about it. A disaster as he wipes out and falls into the pool. It's so bad. Now, let's look, because this is really interesting to me. When you look at Babylon on Rotten Tomatoes, it is at 60%. Why is that important? Because if it goes down 1 percentage point more, it is rotten. So you don't think that Paramount is putting pressure on anybody? Like they're literally, hey, can you please submit your review for fresh? Because that's what you guys know. I have reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. Haven't put one on in a long time. But when you get there, you submit your review with your blurb, and then you say, do you want to go fresh or rotten? There's no rules for that. You could have a film at a 6 out of 10 be fresh. You could have a film 6 out of 10 be rotten. That's your discretion. So Babylon is praying, please don't give us a few more rottens or we're going into the rottens. And then you can't get a best picture. If it's a rotten film, first of all, it shouldn't even be there because it's so bad. Let's go through some of the reviews quickly, and then we'll go to comments because I know you guys have a lot to say. Again, if you want to get in, you give me a super chat and you're in. I mean, there's already like 100 comments. It's very hard to go through 100 comments. Super chats, very easy to do. You put a super chat in and you're to the top of the list. You're in, you're on, we're up. Okay, let's go through a couple of these reviews, and we'll review the reviews now that they're out. Max Weiss of the Baltimore Magazine says, I admire Chazelle's ambition. He swings for the fences here, and I mean, yeah. And he's obviously an enormously gifted director. This sounds like this is what we're doing now for film criticism, by the way. This is exactly what I said about Fabelmans. This is exactly what I'm saying here about Babylon. I don't care what his pedigree is. The film is a train wreck. The film is terrible. It is a dumpster fire. So why are you mentioning all this? It's almost like, I know that he's really good, but it's a swing and a miss. Instead of saying this movie is a tonal disaster, they say things like, it's a swing and a miss, but he's really good. Hey, everybody, he's really good. That's how this reads from Max Weiss. You know, he's really talented, but he's also, it's not that good, but he's talented. Lean into your review. Say it's terrible. Say it's a piece of trash because it's a terrible film. Uh-oh, I'm getting angry. Watch out, everybody. Peter de Bruges from Variety. Nearly all the main characters get a Why Movies Matter monologue. Nearly all are shabbily written. That's the nicest thing you say. It's just garbage film. Babylon may not be Chazelle's Heaven's Gate. Thank you, finally, Rafer Guzman from Newsday. But it's definitely the most maddening movie experience you'll have this year. 2 out of 4. That's too high. 2 out of 4. Try a 0.3 out of 4. Babylon is a film too busy writing an elegy for the still-breathing body of a film and as a medium to capture the true beauty and complications of being alive. That is too much to say about a horrible film. It induces headaches. Thank you, Diane Carson from KDKH. HKX. What the hell? That's a hell of a call letters there. KDHX in St. Louis. It's terrible. Guys, it's bad. It's a bad film. Yeah, thank you, Chris Gore. The ending of Babylon, the montage. Wait till you guys. I want you to see Babylon and come back to MMT on Sunday night. Christmas night, we'll do a show. Best Christmas movies. Check in on the box office. Christmas night, the extravaganza on the flagship show. Last show before we get to Christmas tonight. I want you to go watch Babylon. Not for any reason, but to watch that ending of Babylon and the montage that Diego is watching in the theater as he's weeping openly. It is the most scattershot collection of films that you'll ever encounter. And it's at that point that I say, did someone else direct Whiplash? Did someone else ghost direct La La Land because Damien Chazelle either was coked up himself when he made Babylon, or he forgot everything that he used to know about filmmaking when he made Babylon. Those are the only two ways that it makes any sense when you watch that montage of films that is the biggest shit show collection. It's so random. I just can't wait for you guys to see it. Thank you, Gore, for seeing the exact same thing. So bad. Does anyone else, hold on real quick, more comments. I want to see if anyone else mentions that montage in the theater is abysmal, is embarrassing, is unbelievably wretched. And I can't believe that we are talking about this as even semi-decent. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Your brutal honesty and personality always gives me a huge laugh. And even when I don't agree with you, a film can always respect. Because, Ball to the Future, thank you. When we are doing this, when we have these situations like Babylon, and people are saying it is his best film. Like, remember that? Watch yourself. Tone. Just give me a second. Deep breath. The person who came out of Babylon, the same screening I was at, and was like, this is Damien Chazelle's best film. And it was someone that had like very little, background, had barely done this. It's like some random film Twitter person, like 20-year-old person. You just nuked, literally just obliterated whatever career you hope to have in this field, because you come out of a film and call that Damien Chazelle's best film. Like, it's over. I always go back to the Mission Impossible 7 trailer. It's over. It is over when you call it that. Katie, good evening to you. Katie, it's so bad. You don't even know. It's just brutally horrible film. My theater was showing The Matrix and Babylon. You saw Matrix. Anything is better than Babylon at this point. Why do I want to see Babylon? You want to see it because it's terrible. You don't want to ruin it. The final montage was embarrassingly bad. It absolutely is. See Babylon in spite of what I'm saying, because it's so baby long. It is brutally overlong, just like Avatar. Both of them are punishing, and these directors are getting away with murder by letting the studios are saying, go ahead and make this film 3 hours long. No, Damien Chazelle, cut an hour out of this film. Actually, it's too late at that point, because Babylon is so horrendous that there's no way to save it. The only way to save Babylon is to never make the film. That's how atrocious we're looking here. And I think that's the puzzling part for me, is what was Paramount thinking, reading the script that you will see when you watch Babylon, thinking, let's make this. Let's go ahead. You know why? Damien Chazelle. He's got an Oscar. Look at this guy. He's unbelievable. This guy's the Wonder Kid. Every film we evaluate on its own merits, right? And Babylon, from any other director, is one of the worst films of the year. So, therefore, it's one of the worst films of the year from Damien Chazelle. We don't change how we review films when the director is someone that we value. The film is the film, right? End of discussion. Of All the Future, been doing comedy 1.5 years. It really teaches you how to refine. You have to prove yourself in 5 minutes. Directors should have the same constraints. Right? It's even the show, for God's sake. We all know this show gets off the rails way too much. But at the end of the day, you still have to, at the end of the day, sometimes I'll get done with a show, and it's very free flowy, right? We're not doing this re-edits and all these things that you see these people where they go cut. No, this is live. Whatever happens, happens. But you still want to say, well, maybe I went a little too hard here. Maybe I shouldn't have done this. Well, that went well. Let's try that. You're trying to figure that out. And when you're doing it live on a tightrope like we're doing right now, you're going to make mistakes. But you still want to be consciously thinking about your actions so that you don't, like, make Babylon. I mean, that's the thing. Babylon isn't live. If Babylon was live, then I would cut it more slack. Just like you would cut this show more slack, right? If something happens live, such as me like clicking out of the window the other night, you're going to be like, it's a live show. If you have a YouTuber like Chris Stuckman or Grace Randolph, who largely does tape stuff or occasionally does some live stuff, but doesn't do like 3 hours and 12 minutes of a live stream and is cogent for 3 hours and 12 minutes, which, by the way, that show was fire for 3 hours and 12 minutes. I don't know how it happened, but it did. I feel like the longer it goes, the better it gets. But I'm not doing a long show tonight, guys. There's no chance. Zero. Thank you, Vault of the Future, for your super chats. How you get in, just like that. I do want to get to a few more things before we get into open comment time. Here we go. I want to talk about this quickly. So you can see at the bottom here, I have defected from Critics' Choice to Hollywood Critics. Now, I don't want to go into all the details right now, but I am going to tell you this. In the near future, we are going to do an entire stream that is going to be very niche. So we're going to go niche inside of niche. We're already niche here at MMT. We're going to go even more. And we're going to explain a lot of my problems that I have with Critics' Choice. And I think it's not just a little thing. These are big things. And now that I am out from under that organization, I am going to expose some stuff that is not going to be, let's just say, pretty. But I'm not going to do it tonight. I'm gonna collect things, get ready, get everything together. I've got some things I want to say. But as I join HCA, Scott Menzel, very, very good friend of mine. I believe that the membership in HCA overall as a group is more dynamic, more interesting, and more dialed in to what's happening now than a hell of a lot of Critics' Choice members. That's where I'll start, and we'll continue this in a stream down the road. If you want to ask me a question, I will answer some of those, but we're going to do this in longer form about that because I think it's time that Critics' Choice had a little bit of attention and a light put on it. There's some things that need to be discussed, and we'll do that. Let's do Physique critique, and then we go to the comments. Tonight's Physique critique is one I've been wanting to do for a very long time. And if you were to ask me, like, what physique do you aim for? Like, when you go to the gym, Eric, who's someone that you're thinking of when you try to get in shape? It is this man right here. Bruce freaking Lee, everybody. Look at Mr. Enter and Exit the Dragon right here. This is my kind of physique. Lean, cut. I mean, really lean, right? His arms aren't huge, but he has great shape. Bruce Lee was all about fitness and all about, not just because he was, obviously black belt, badass, would kick anybody's ass on the planet, but he also looked the part, just super tight. I love Bruce. There's nothing to say other than it's almost perfect to me, right? Even the traps, man, the guy looks good, but he's really lean. He's probably like, honestly, right here, if I had to guess, he's probably like 150. He's not big, but he's just lean and cut. That's my kind of look. Versus, say, Christian Bale in Batman, right? In Batman Begins. He's big and kind of more puffy. This is my kind of thing. This lean, shredded thing that Bruce Lee had. Let's start comments there. It is the GOAT, Ricardo, right? I mean, Bruce Lee. But people think, that's the thing. I think a lot of people think Bruce Lee and they just think the karate aspects of it. They don't look at that and say, and here's the thing that I'll tell you, if you're not jacked, like, you're like huge, you can look like Bruce Lee. You just have to be really diligent about your diet and then, of course, hit the weights and you can start cutting yourself into this kind of situation. It's going to take a little time, but it's definitely more attainable than a lot of these guys like, Hugh Jackman in Wolverine. I mean, that's like almost roided, right? He's absolutely completely cut. Bruce Lee versus Chuck Norris. I mean, it'd be a hell of a good thing. Critics cage match. I will absolutely. Now that what's funny? Can I say this? So Bruce Lee, anything you want to talk about that? When we talk about CCA versus HCA, I think it's funny. It almost reminds me going back to wrestling because there's a lot of people in both organizations. But when I made this decision, I said, I want to make certain that it is understood that I am leaving Critics' Choice and I'm going to Hollywood Critics. I want to make sure that's absolutely out there. I don't want to have any misinterpretation of this, that this is an organization I believe in. And you guys know from watching MMT, I only in part of things I absolutely with my heart and soul believe in. And that goes for every review, goes for whatever I go for analysis on box office, whatever it is. It is what I believe. It's not, there's no shillism here. And one of the problems with CCA, and not from Chris Gore, because he's not, there's a lot, and this is what I can't wait to do. There are a lot of shills in CCA. I mean, not one or two. And now that I'm out, I can go ahead and do some of this. We're going to have a whole stream. It's going to be so much fun. How many? We've talked about the shills. You ready? Shill number 1, Scott Mans. Shill. 2, Eric Davis. Shill. Pete Hammond. Shill. 3, there's 3 major shills. I don't want to be part of an organization that has shills like those 3. When's the last time Eric Davis had a movie that he did not like? Oh, I'll help you with that. Never. The answer is never. Why is he even in Critics' Choice? You're not a critic. You're a shill. You work for Fandango. See, this is what I can do now. I can absolutely take off and just go. But here's the thing that I say when I do this is it's not personal. I'm just telling you what the truth is. And if someone came to me and said, hey, Eric Weber, that guy's a shill, but you know what? Has anyone ever said that? Of course they haven't. No one would ever say that because you know that's not true. So if Eric Davis, if Scott Mans wants to not be called a shill, let me give you a little piece of advice. You destroy films from time to time, like I did with Babylon, Gray Man, Fablemans, The Whale. You gut them. And then people go, well, there's no way that guy's a shill because he just absolutely obliterated The Whale. And you tell the reps when you walk out of the movie that you're going to nuke it, like I did. A24 reps. Hey, what'd you think of The Whale, Eric? Oh, guys, you're not going to like what I do with this. But Eric Davis, Scott Mans, Pete Hammond, they'll never do that. Help me out, guys. Why? Because they're shills. They're shills. I don't even know if I don't even know to, do I really even need to do a whole stream? I mean, that's kind of the nutshell, right? That's it. It is, they are shills, and I will not be part of shills. Not you, Gore. You're not a shill. Oh God, is there anybody who wants to step into that other than me? Is there anybody? Seriously, there's nobody. No, there's nobody else. By the way, guys, thank you. I'd like a little bit of, give me a like for the mullet, first of all. The mullet, I absolutely, that's a like, and also the fact that it's the Lost Boys haircut. We're almost there. I told you we were going to do it after I saw Lost Boys when it came back out, and there it is. Also tonight, I want to mention this. Tonight's kit, Charlton Athletic. What a win! A League One team just beat today in the Carabao Cup a Premier League team. Brighton Hove goes down in PKs to Charlton Athletic from, help me out here, League One. Listen, all of my football kits have what? Have the patches. I don't mess around with that. Charlton Athletic tonight, matching the graphics you see. Let's get to the comments because it is open comment time. I have really had at it with so many things. The mullet is great on top. Thank you, Ricardo. It's absolutely just a shit show of a hairdo at this point. But at this point, I'm happy, A, to have hair, and B, to have a mullet. We do disagree a lot, but I do not call you a shill, Gore, because you're not. Do shills get, this is fun. Let's do some shill time, because this is very good. Do shills get to do exclusive interviews with the stars? If you're not a shill, and okay, great example. So use me walking out of The Whale. So let's say I had an interview lined up with Brendan Fraser, and it was all set to go for Deadline, for Variety, for THR. And I come out and say, oh my God, The Whale is one of the worst, if not the worst, award screenplay ever in the history of award screenplays. They're going to instantly, the studio is going to say, your interview's canceled because you are bad-mouthing the film. So if you're a shill, you cannot be true with your words about your evaluations and your criticisms of films because you will lose access. So I'm at the point now where largely studios are very much afraid of what I'm going to say because they don't know. With Eric Davis, with Scott Mans, you are safe. You might get, remember we talked about this like with a Mans. Well, it's not really for me, but it has some really good things about it. have I ever done? No, and no. You say the movie's not good. Babylon. I mean, do you want to read? Okay, let's read my Babylon tweet again and imagine our good friend Scott Mance sending this tweet. That's hilarious. A tonal disaster. Babylon's Damien Chazelle's worst film, a brutally overlong, coked up mess featuring two great scenes trapped inside a flaming dumpster fire of a script. Can you even imagine Davis or Mans issuing that tweet? Would they? No, they would never. Therefore, guess what? Even if they thought this, they would never do it because they are shills and they would never say this. And again, if you have a problem with that, send something like this and prove me wrong. The problem is you won't do it. Therefore, you're a shill. And you know who's the biggest shill of them all? And I don't even care. I see Pete Hammond all the time, but it's the truth. Pete Hammond is the world's number one shill. That guy, I believe there's no question either he is paid directly by the studios or he is given access via the Q&As he runs all over town by him being glowing with everything. Remember when he called News of the World a towering achievement in movie making? And we were like, what? News of the World? A towering achievement of nothing? What? Of towering? Pete Hammond. He is actually, we should have a shill off. This is what we'll do here on MMT One Night. You guys will vote. But the final round is going to be very hard. Is it going to be Eric Davis or is it going to be Pete Hammond? Who's going to be the biggest shill of them all? Because that's a fight. I don't know. I mean, that is like a draw. That's like a 15-round scorecard, the same. Everything's the same. We're going to throw it to the judges, but you can't pick. It's a tie. Raise both their hands. They're both shills. Okay. No. Did he really say he's seen Babylon 3 or 4 times? Oh my God. He is King Shill. Let's go ahead and let's give Pete Hammond the crown. And now, because here's the thing. Oh, wait a second. Eric Davis is bigger. Here's the thing. Now that I'm not in Critics' Choice, because those two guys are in Critics' Choice, I can savage them all day and all night. But here's the thing, is someone could come savage me, but they're not going to be able to say that I'm a shill. They could say, he's opinionated. He has a mullet. He's wrong. Never wrong, but you know what I'm saying. He's arrogant. What? He's mean. You're being mean to Pete Hammond. You're being mean to Scott Mance. You're being nasty to Eric Davis. Again, it's not personal. I'm not talking about the fact that Eric Davis walks around with a hat on all the time. I'm not going to say that's mean. I didn't say that. What I'm saying is that he's a shill. And that's true. It's 100% true. It's 100% true, guys. You guys know it. There's not even an argument to have here. And the thing is if Pete Hammond, if I see him out at a screening and someone shows him this, and what's Pete Hammond going to say? I don't like you saying that? Okay, well, Pete, here's a little tip. Don't be a shill. And then we won't have to deal with it. It'd be like someone saying, Eric, you are a shill. And I'd be like, well, I'm not a shill because look at my review from Babylon. Do you guys see it right here? I mean, look, shills don't do this. That's the thing. You can say Eric's a jerk, and I'd be like, that's fine. I don't care. Like, it doesn't bug me. The problem is when someone has a problem with what you're saying, there's probably a shit ton of truth to it, right? Oh my God, what? No, he didn't. Scott Mann said Babylon gets better the more you watch it. No, he didn't. Show that to me. Give me the link in a tweet, because if he did, I will. I thought I was only going to go an hour. Now I feel like I have to go forever about shills. I'm not at a full mullet. I'm getting there. See, Gore, I do speak the truth. I do. God. All right. All I'm going to say, because listen, this is going to be simple. I did mention something about karma, and everyone's going to say, well, Eric, you deserve karma for this. Someone that recently leveled some ridiculous claim against me in the past year is now under fire. That's all I'm going to say. And that's what I meant by karma. So there's your answer, Gore. Thank you for the super chat. But seriously, guys, come on, listen. The truth is that you guys know I'm 100% right. Schneider's, I like Jeff. Jeff is very much like me. Jeff is like just hardcore. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, Mans, I couldn't do a podcast with Scott Mans. I'd want to leave. I would get up and leave. The voice alone is enough to make you want to leave. That's, by the way, that was mean. I'm sorry, guys. I can't stop. So again, shills don't send tweets like this. Speaking of shills, what's up with people lately with a lot of followers giving EEAO a second viewing and all of a sudden it's a masterpiece? Well, Bruce, let's explain that. Because we have people who want to be right on the right side of history. Instead of saying what they believe to be accurate, they want to say, oh, give it another look. And my favorite we talked about the other night was when the person comes out of a movie and is like, I need some time to think about this. No, you don't. You know what you need? You need time to look at everyone else's reaction so that you can tweet something, react with something that is in line with most of the other people. You know what I do? I'm the total opposite. When I walked out of Babylon, it was the first screening, so I knew I was good. I came down the stairs. I destroyed the film walking down the stairs. As the stars were walking up, I had to stop myself from saying, I hate this film, because I was on the way down. I was so angry. And I got down to the bottom. I told you this on the stream. It was unbelievable. I come walking down, and the crew is getting the dessert ready, because it's like the first screening, and here's the dessert, hang out with the stars. And I was like, this movie is one of the worst of the year. I can't stand it. I can't believe I came. And Menzel was walking down and he was like, oh my God, it's terrible. And the two of us had to literally leave the building before we were escorted out because we couldn't stop. So what happens is these other people, they hold their reaction. They get on their phone and they go, let's see, what are people saying? Well, they're saying it's not his best film, but it's got some good moments. And there's been some people who, you guys, I could name a name here. I might. I'm gonna stop myself for a moment. But has been accused, a certain person, of looking at reactions coming out of screenings and then cobbling together different people's thoughts on a film versus their own organic way of thinking. Whatever that is, whatever that you're going to stamp your take on. That's how I operate. I don't want to see anyone else. Like, I never look at a review before I come out of a film because I don't want to be led in a certain direction. So if I miss a film, like let's say The Quiet Girl, I really want to see it. I know you guys say it's great, but I don't want to read specifics about it so that when I come out, I can form my own opinion about what I just watched. After Sun was a great example of that. I saw After Sun after everyone else had seen it and said it was great. Thank God I didn't read any reviews. I didn't know what to expect. I came out of it, I'm like, oh my God, Charlotte Wells. This movie just emotionally destroyed me. So I think there's a real challenging aspect of this for some people, which is being themselves. I think you guys know from watching MMT, there's zero question that what we do here is we are real. I mean, there's no other way to do it that I know of. Name the name. If you give me a super chat, I might name it. I might name it. Let's just say, how about this? The person runs an award site. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to. I think the person might be is Roca. Is it Roca or Rocha? I don't even know. If I don't watch him, but if he is a shill, that's disappointing. I just don't. I have no interest in being a shill. I have no interest in listening to a shill. I want to listen to someone that is ballsy as hell. That is going to come out and just go bang. Right. Just this is what the reality is. And there's very few like me. Very few. There's. I mean, is there any? I might be, and I'm not just saying this for me because I'm here and this is me. I think I might be the world's most dangerous critic because you don't know what you're going to get. I had a director direct message me one time on Twitter that told me, you know what's interesting? I never know what you're going to say about a film. So what does that tell you? That tells you I'm objective. I do not have a dog in the fight, and I will not play favorites, and I will tell you exactly what I believe the value of the film is that I just watched, regardless of who directed it, what studio it is, their actors, none of that matters. I've said it a billion times here. All that matters is, boom, what's on the screen. Everything else doesn't matter. Nothing. We talked about it the other night. The person behind the camera doesn't matter. Man, woman, child, dog, giraffe, doesn't matter. The film is the film. You don't give more points for a film directed by a woman. You don't take away points for a film directed by a man. You don't do those things. You just value the film you're watching. There's no other way to do this evaluation game. But we have people like the ones we've mentioned before, the shills out there who are like, well, this is Damien Chazelle, so it's got to be good. That's not even the best. It's Damien Chazelle, so it's got to be good. It's great. Oh my God, you got to watch it 5 times. Ugh. Like, I wonder, for someone that's a shill like that, do they, when they go to bed, say, I'm not even a real person, right? Like, do they at any time during the day say, it's weird when I look, and when I feel, I don't really think I'm real. I think I'm like a made up, I'm like a fake human being. Like, that's not what you see here. That's not what you see here. It's everything. You never know I don't even know what I'm going to say, which is, cool, I guess, or terrible. Sleepy Skunk, hey, welcome. I don't know if you've been here before, but I know we talk on Twitter all the time. I'm going to tally up the number of positive, negative reviews for each critic for every studio release for the past 20 years on a spreadsheet. I would love to see that. That's a hell of a lot of work, but I'm telling you, I think you guys would be shocked at the number of people that were like positive. It's just because they want access, because they want to be on the right side of history, because they want to, all these things. No, do not. No, Gore, don't do this. I'm not doing it again tonight. I'm at an hour. I'll go maybe another 15 and it's over. I'm not doing 3 hours and 12 minutes. That was the one. Chris Gore, no wokey. Yeah, okay, hold on. It wouldn't say, he's not a shill. Roke is a shill. He hated Black Adam. Okay, well, okay, then maybe he's just not good. Wow, I don't know, Bruce. I don't know what to say about that, Bruce. I'm not going to. I am a box of chocolates, Goobler. Goobler. The Goobler. Goober, thank you. Appreciate that. I don't know. I don't know. Who is that person? Only PGA, DGA can say, okay, since you say, hey, listen, Mahato, Runak, let's do quickly on this, because yes, it's super chat, so of course I'm going to do it. RRR needs help from PGA, certainly DGA with SS getting in there. I think those are the two biggies. PGA, that's going to be really hard. DGA is definitely more attainable, so RR definitely would be benefited by either one of those or both, okay? So right now, RR is not getting in for Best Picture. It's just not, okay? Unfortunately, that's the reality. It's so much closer than it ever was. A few months ago, I said it had no chance. It's crept up the board, right? When we look at Awards Ace, we pull it up again, and I'm telling you, it's there. It's like in the number 12 spot. But guess what? Number 12 is not getting in, okay? One more time, here's your top 10 quickly. This is the top 10 in a row that I have going down in order, descending order of strength. Number 1 is Fableman's, Maverick, Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere, Tar, Avatar, Women Talking, Babylon, She Said. That's 10, right? Yes. Then we have Glass Onion and RRR's at 12. I think Glass Onion gets in before RRR, so I think that it is not going to happen unless something happens with PG and DGA. Those are the two biggies. No question about it. You're up drinking. Listen, that's a good way to watch the show. But the thing is that we are real. That is what we do, and very few other people do this. I've been very critical of Grace Randolph. You guys watch Grace more than me. I've watched a few streams and I go, I don't know. First of all, I told you guys, I don't know what she's looking at. She's looking over here. So she's talking like, hey guys, so my number 1 film is Maverick. And you're like, what are you looking at here? Is it a teleprompter? Do you guys notice that? Am I the only one who's noticed that about Grace Randolph? She's looking here. It's very strange how she's versus here. She's here. Sometimes I look down because I'm looking at the monitor, but I feel like she's looking here because if you have a teleprompter, you're going to be here. Imagine if I did the show with teleprompter. Guys, I think that Avatar 2 is not going to get to $2 billion because it may not make it there. It's just weird, right? So having done live television for so many years and just seat of the pants shit like all the time here on MMT for the past, almost, 8-9 months. You get better and better at it, and you just don't think, and you just go. And I think that's the best way to operate. Now, there's a lot of people who probably couldn't even do it because they have to do that cut, because they really want to come out and, I really enjoyed the movie, pause. And I thought that the direction was very good, pause. And when you look at pause, and I think that that is one way to do it. But what we do here is completely different. I don't even cut out clips. I probably should. We have a hell of a lot of views when I just go off on shills. The shill clip alone would have a ton of views. You just destroyed Mans and Davis and the king of the shills, Pete Hammond. The king of the shills. It looks scripted. Oh, no, well, that's good. That's good. But no, After Sun's not getting in. There's no chance. It's not. But look, the only thing I script, I'm going to be honest with you guys, of course I want to have some idea, right? So we had Avatar, then we had Oscars and Shortlists, we have RR Best Picture, Babylon's a train wreck, I defected from Critics' Choice to HCA. These are all the general highlights, Physique, critique. And then we have, tonight's kit. These are all just the general idea, but we don't get to, I don't have the whole thing scripted. You guys come in here and this is where you take the show wherever you want. I mean, I can go there. I mean, we're like the shill. I didn't expect to go the shill thing tonight. Hold on, here it is. Let's take the shill topic and make it positive. Okay, sure. Let's do that, Alex. I did destroy the shills. Most respected critic. One of the critics that I really value because I know that he believes what he's saying is Scott Menzel. And I'm not just saying that because I just, jumped into HCA after forever. I said, I like him as just being honest. And I think that's a big part of this. There's a lot of people who are not like that. They want to say what they think is the right thing. And Scott doesn't do that. Favorite critics of all time, Gene Siskel, without question. At the top of my Twitter page, you'll see the quote about Gene Siskel talking about not wanting to be part of a group. And I absolutely have no interest in being a group. I have no interest in being liked because you don't want to be disliked, but you also don't want to go out of your way to be like, oh, hey, everybody like me, like certain people we've mentioned who are shills. That's not really where I'm interested in. I think people will value you for who you are if you're real, especially nowadays. We have so many people that are just disingenuous, that are not real people. Certainly over the last 2 years with COVID, we saw so many people that are just like towing the line. They're not saying what they really believe. They're, doing all this shit to just, be performative, to be politically correct. I don't have any time for any of that. And I certainly don't have any time for getting out there in virtue signaling. I mean, I think virtue signaling is very disgusting. I mean, it just makes you kind of gross. Like, hey, Ukraine, or let's whatever the thing is. Let's say put that on my profile. Come on. Just be you. You is good enough. Ebert was the GOAT. Bruce, Ebert and Siskel. The reason I love them, and I hopefully have a piece of them in me, is their ability to be unvarnished, their ability to say what they believed, and they didn't ever waver, and they didn't care what other people thought of their reviews. We have too many people in the space who are trying to suck up to the studios. They're trying to be liked. They're trying to get access, and they're not being true human beings and true evaluators of film. They're being shills. And those people I have no time for. So, Alex, when you ask me to current people, there's very few out there. I mean, I'm talking very, very few. I don't think I can even come up with 5. That's why I know that head to head versus virtually any critic out there today, my track record of calling what works and what doesn't work in any film over the past decade is amongst the highest of any critic. And I'm not just saying that because it's me. I know it. I am 100% certain. And that's why I have things like 5 million impressions on Twitter. They all thought, here's the best part. What I love about that, let's pull it up one more time. The 5 million impression tweet. What I love about that, this is my favorite thing, is that everyone who was going out there with the quote tweets going, oh, look at Weber. He doesn't know what he's talking about. It's only one night. He doesn't know. Who knows what's going to happen? I said it's not going to hit 200 million. It's going to debut. Look, Dominion 145, it debuted at 134. It's even under that. So all of the idiots and all the anime avatar folks out there, and there were plenty of them, watch the 3-hour stream on Friday. I called this, and my favorite part is we hit tweet analytics, and what do we see? 5 million impressions, and the best part is 5 million people saw me be right about Avatar's opening weekend. That's priceless. That's priceless. 5 millions. Jennifer Lawrence is Scott Menzel. What does that even mean, Brett? Ebert's passing was sad for me. Really didn't find a voice. Didn't really find a voice to listen to and respect until I found you on Twitter. Thank you, Alex. There's very few. Listen, I'm not kidding you guys. Stop. You're saying how I say 5 million. 5 million. Leave me alone, Gore. I should boot you from the talk. You're just rude. Just kidding. I love you, bro. How many history's all-time Babylons or awful movies were propped up by shills? Okay. Like movies that are overrated, that's a whole stream. Let's do that for another stream because I'm just about out of steam, guys. I cannot do 3 hours. I can't. We're almost done. I'm going to give it a 5-minute warning. 1:15, we're done. 1:15. Oliver Harper. I don't think I ever, Kerwin, I don't think I watched Oliver Harper. I cannot comment on that. I went over the wall in my jumps. I probably did. I remember when Ebert ripped Gladiator while Joyce, is it Joyce Koholwick? I don't know how to say her last name. Yeah, that was funny. That's me when I was doing, Menzel and I did the show at the multiplex, which we're probably going to pick up at some point. But he would say things and I'd be like, when he was saying it, I'm like, I cannot wait to jump in on this. Like, I am going to jump in and I'm going to attack Scott Menzel with a hatchet. I mean, it was like, I was just waiting for him to finish like Ebert with Joyce on Gladiator, where he's like, that would be me if I ever did a show with like Scott Mance, because I'd be like, dude, why are you such a shill? Well, first of all, I would never do a show with someone like Mance who's a shill. That would be impossible. I can't even be in that room because it's like, it's a fakeness. I don't like fake people. So if you're fake, I'm really not going to like you. That's why I like Gore. It's why I like Menzel. It's why I like Paul Hardester. We're going to hang out. Jeff Ewing. These are all like really close friends. Guess what they all have in common? They are not fake. Not one of them is fake. They are all real, true, and they are very passionate about what they believe in. That is what I'm looking for. And hopefully it's what you guys found here on MMT is somebody who's just straight jealousy. I'm sure I'm butchering names right and left. Trust me. I mean, I did the other night with Gina Prince Greenwood. I'm already forgetting. For the Woman King, I'm like, okay, listen, when you're doing 17 hours of this, I don't know what to tell you. There's no way I'm doing a 24-hour stream, Gingy. It's not happening, man. We're almost done. We're almost a 24-hour shill stream. That would actually be fun. I don't know if I could talk for 20. I could do a 2-hour shill stream where I just savage the biggest. You know what? Maybe we'll do that. That's actually good. I'm going to do it because now that I'm out from CCA, we will do over the holidays, not Sunday. Sunday's going to be Christmas. We'll talk about Christmas movies and box office on Sunday. But next week, I don't know if we'll do it next week because we have the best of and the worst of. And we're going to do 2 shows like that. The best of and the worst of. I don't care if you guys say worst of is mean. Stop. Stop with the mean stuff. If you don't like it, don't watch. If you don't want to hear it, whatever. The worst is when someone says, oh, we can't listen to this voice because they're being mean. Listen, I get it. Movies are a pain in the ass to make, a lot of work, but unfortunately, you wasted 2 hours of my time. In Babylon's case, 3 hours. So is it going to be on my worst films of the year? Oh my God, yes. Babylon's on there. The Whale is on there. The Fabelmans is on there. I know you guys are like, what? The Fabelman's worst of the year? I mean, listen, I've seen some bad films, but it is absolutely in that top 10 of worst films. And then I'm going to, Erick's mean. Here's the worst films. It's the worst. We're going to do a shill stream that'll be at least 2 hours. We'll count down the top 10 shills. But I'll tell you right now, it's going to be really hard to beat Pete Hammond. I mean, you guys can try. You can submit your things in the comments, wherever you want. It's going to be really hard to beat Pete Hammond, who has never watched a film he didn't love. I mean, that's a pretty strong streak that Pete Hammond has going. Every single film is the greatest screenplay ever. A towering achievement in filmmaking. A performance for the ages. Every single thing is Pete Hammond. John Campea. I don't watch Campea. I have no idea, Kate. But I'm going to... Gore says I should watch Campea because I would probably go after him. I don't know. I don't watch him, but I'm hearing that people think he's a shill, at least for Marvel. I just don't know how someone could talk about Marvel movies all day. I mean, yeah, you have a bigger audience, but I mean, for me, I was like, I don't want to talk about Marvel all day. It's like, oh, I'll talk about it, but I'd rather talk about things like Tar. I'd rather talk about one of the films you see behind me, not Marvel all day, okay? I mean, I'd rather talk about Joker. It's more interesting than pretty much any Marvel movie. The Batman, best superhero movies of the year. So when you look at a masterpiece, just put that on any movie that Pete Hammond talks about. All right, the stream is almost over. We are in extra time. We're done here in moments. Back here on Sunday. Those, y'all, make sure I didn't miss any super chats. If I miss a super chat, I got to go back. Give me 1 second. Check the super chats. I think I get everyone into super chat, including Gore. Gore, I owe you a beer for the super chat. I told him, he does super chats. I need to buy him a drink. Maybe tomorrow. I'm going to see Gore. I'm not doing a stream. No stream tomorrow. Back here on Sunday night. Sunday night for the Christmas stream. So Sunday night, Christmas night, box office. The best Christmas films of all time. Not obvious ones, right? Not like weird things. And then whatever else you want to do. Shill stream will come up at some point. I don't know when, but we're not going to do it like Sunday. I got to get ready for the Shill stream. That's a lot of work. Someone super chat Eric. No, there's no way we're super chatting and continue. There's no chance you can do it. Marcel the Shill. That's good. I like that, JM. There's Marcel. Hello, Marcel. Marcel, explain the Bible. This is my Marcel. Jingle all the way. Get your things. This I got from A24 before I leave here tonight. It's my favorite thing I've ever received from a studio. So thank you again for it's heavy. I mean, this thing weighs like a good 2 pounds. Listen, ready? Can you hear that? It's like a serious, like the weight of this has got to be like 3 pounds. And then of course the other thing. Okay, thank you, Brett. I'll stay for another second. There's the moose from what? From Mitchell versus the Machines, which is down here on the wall. That's it for tonight. You guys rock. You're amazing. I'll see you back here Sunday night on MMT. I got to go to bed. I'm exhausted. And MMT is out live from Los Angeles. No longer live. MMT is over. See you Sunday. Good night, all.